Rebecca Robeson here from Robeson Design Studio in San Diego, California. You have just arrived at Makeover Mondays. Welcome to your new room. Oh my gosh!
That's my favorite part. I love it!
Today our winner is a young man. He's 16 years old, lives on the East Coast in the United States, and his name is Patrick1234. So here is the challenge with Patrick's room. He shares his room with his older brother who's in college. So 80% of the time Patrick's there alone. But 20% of the time when his brother comes home, he needs a place that he can call his bedroom as well. He's home during the summer and on weekends and on holidays. The bigger challenge though is the amount of space that the boys have to make it into 2 different bedrooms and still be able to meet all of Patrick's needs. Now let me tell you what he needs. Patrick is a musician. He has guitars and banjos. He has mixing and mastering equipment and recording equipment and electronic equipment and basses and monitors and sound mixing boards. I mean, you'll see here in a second. It's amazing. So fortunately, they have a big enough bedroom that I'm going to be able to separate it into different stations, give Patrick the coziness and the warmth that he wants and needs, give his brother James the privacy and the feeling that he still has a room in his own home, and be able to meet all of the functional needs at the same time. So you ready to see? I think it turned out pretty cool. Come on, I'll show you. All right, so this is what we have to work with Patrick's room. Right over here is a closet. These are the 2 windows he described to me as problem windows because this is a daylight basement and people can actually see down into his room, so he wants me to address that. And then over here on this side, okay, now this right here is Patrick's bed. The other bed that I just showed you is apparently his brother, the one who's off to college most of the time. So this is a huge room. I mean, there's plenty of room for 2 people to be in here. But it sounds like, according to your description of yourself, Patrick, you like being in a smaller space. And that's one of the things you don't like about this room is it's almost too big to feel cozy and personal. And you're looking for something cozy, but definitely maintaining something that is functional. Here is all of, oh my gosh, all of your equipment for music, computers, soundboards, mixing stuff, all kinds of guitars. I think I even saw a banjo in one of these too. So it was really nice. Patrick gave me some measurements of things that he has so I could kind of get a good idea of making sure I make everything fit. And here was one of the nicest things that he did for me, and I would highly recommend it for the rest of you too when you send in your submissions. Patrick took 3 of his shirts that he loves the colors of and said, this is the color palette that I want. I can say that that's really, really helpful. Patrick has this funky ceiling thing that drops here. He's got really high ceilings here, which is awesome. But this drops down here. So I'm gonna try to come up with a plan that will address that ceiling height change. The closet right here is where he is currently, he's using this as like a recording studio because he needs a small enclosed area so he can kind of have that recording studio feel. So I am anxious to show Patrick what I came up with for his new room. And let's go and take a look, shall we? So Patrick, are you ready to see what I did with your space? Well, I divided it up into 4 separate spaces. That's right, there's a place right here on the right for your brother. When he's home on holiday or for the summer, he actually has a beautifully sized bedroom. It's very, very private for him. I put in additional little cubby storage over here. That's from IKEA. Used dark chocolate furniture, which is very easy for you to find on the East Coast. And then I used the colors and the artwork to tie in. I gave him his own color scheme, really. I thought maybe he wasn't as into the bright colors as you are. So his is a little bit more mature. And then I placed a nice tall mirror on the back of this cubby section. Right here, remember where the ceiling drops down? Well, I dropped it all right, and right here, I put in another cubby section. As you go past the curtain, you'll see that walking into the back part of the bedroom, we now have a beautiful upper bunk for you But instead of having your recording studio underneath, I placed a really cool hangout sofa with awesome lighting and beautiful, realistic artwork. This is photo artwork that you can purchase on the internet or find some place where you live, or maybe even some of your own photography. As you said, you like to go to the mountains. I think you have a mountain home or something like that, or a lake home, so maybe this will remind you of that. These are real cool little pendant lights that I'm hanging on either side. There's your colors, Patrick, the colors that you said you liked. You wanted it to be bright and cheery and put you in a good mood. And then all along this back wall, I placed your sound studio. But behind this curtain, where that ceiling dropped, I made you your own recording studio. Here's a place where you can hang your guitars and banjos on the wall, put some artwork, have your curtains, and you can make your curtains really thick here if you want. Make them out of velvet or something so that it's more sound dampening. And then on the back of this cubby section, I just put all mirror because it's going to be a pretty small space, and I know you need that for recording, but it might feel a little small. So that should double the size how it feels. But right over here, you're going to see this great desk that has a place for your keyboard to fit inside. I'm afraid this is something you'll probably have to have made. A lot of things I put in here, excuse me, I tried to keep more along the lines of IKEA, but something like this is so specialized, they wouldn't have anything this big. But if you're in a place, it sounds like you live in a big city. If you do, then you should be able to find someone who can build this for you. I also put cubbies underneath so that there's additional place for you to put. We had so many cords and so many boxes and so many different things. I just thought the more I do storage under there, the better. We have enough space on here for dual screens, and then right here is an actual monitor like for television. If you want to watch this while you're sitting over here on the sofa, you can put this on one of those bracket systems and it just swings out so you can see it. I put in a nice bulletin board up here. I thought, you know, I mean, you want it to look fashionable or you wouldn't have called me or contacted me, but it's also got to look like a teenager's room. And then right in here, you'll see that I used a woven wood shade. And you know, the size of these is probably not that big. You might even get away with sticking a placemat in there or something. But I love this bed. You said you like to stay in a cocoon state, so here you've got a fun bed that's up high. And then look here, on these cubbies, they're open on your side in these two sections, but on your brother's side, they're closed, and that's where he has the mirror. On his side, though, it's open down here below, and on your side, it's closed down there below. So you see, these cubbies come where they're open on both sides, and you guys could just modify them to open and close the parts that you need. I thought for you, since you're going to be up here on the top of the bed, this is an awesome place to put your latest book that you're reading, maybe even an alarm clock. But you basically have the lion's share of the property. The closet is now returned to both you and your brother. And your brother can get through just by going through this curtain. But now here's what I did. I made that curtain, I attached it to the roof part of that dropped ceiling. Here's where that ceiling stops. And in order to have these be IKEA pieces, you know, I could have moved this thing over, but then I would have had a problem here at the wall. So, you know, it's kind of a choice you can make, or you can modify this thing to make it wider. I felt like that little bit of space probably wasn't a bad thing, but it's up to you guys. You guys can decide. All right, Patrick, I hope you like this design. I hope it takes care of all of your needs and that it's something that you can be excited about and feel like you've got your own space, and your brother can feel like he isn't an intruder when he comes home during the summer from college break. You'll notice that I used these lights right here. They are they're kind of an industrial looking hanging pendant, and I love these. They come in all different finishes. I think I used chrome here, but they come in a real rustic, earthy finish too. And I just thought for a guy's room, that was an awesome look. And it also, like you'll see, I do sometimes when I hang pendants over nightstands, it frees up all of your nightstand space, so you don't have to have a lamp there. But doesn't that give a nice sense of balance on either side of the bed? Also, you'll see that I use that same fixture right over here in your not recording, but in your mixing area, right over your computer. And I put that in the center of those two screens. So that would kind of give you a cool look. And when you open up that curtain, as you can see here, that would be like one of the first things that you would see. So it's kind of centered between the two windows, so it's not quite so random, but there's only one of those. And it also acts as a bit of a night light for you as well. It's pretty close. In fact, I might even have a switch put up in this area up high, so that when you're going to bed, it's called a three-way switch. You can turn it on or off up here or down here somewhere, probably right down in here. All right, and then you'll also notice that I use that same pendant light one more time, and that is over here in the actual recording area, so that it kind of gives you neat, moody light. And just remember, as with every lighting that I do, always have everything put on their own switches and dimmers. Although these two lamps here can be on the same switch, everything should have the capability of being dimmed. Notice that I picked a color scheme that you asked for based on your shirts. And I tried to stay as true to life as possible. But look at this. Here is an orange wall. And here's one too. Well, okay, orange is a pretty strong color, and it may be your favorite color, but to have all of your walls orange, that would be like overwhelming. So what I did was I went with a nice charcoal gray on the rest of the walls. And then that made the orange walls great for accent, and then the teal or turquoise in the curtains and the bedding come together. But here's what I did also. Because I separated this into two rooms, I get submissions from a lot of people. Sometimes the girls, their sisters, they share a room. Well, what if your brother had red, white, and blue taste? Well, that would be a problem. But because you guys share a room, there has to be a common thread. So you'll notice I didn't put him in these same bright colors. I put him in rust. And rust and orange can be a derivative of each other. They can go together. And then I spent a lot more in the neutrals and the chocolates for him. There is a very consistent theme throughout with all of the artwork. The artwork that I selected for you is all very nature inspired. It's things that you said about the lake, things that you said about loving to go on vacation and be with the family. And so you'll notice here that I kept the colors of your room in mind with the artwork as well, but I also kept the theme consistent throughout. Those three things will make a difference in the overall outcome of your room. So Patrick and James, I hope you enjoy your new room. I do want you to send me pictures when you have it finished, and I hope it accomplishes all of your needs. Now listen, I want to tell you, YouTubers, some of you have been asking the question, is there any way of increasing my chances of winning on Makeover Mondays? Actually, there are some ways. You need to follow the instructions completely. Don't leave anything out. You would be surprised at how many people leave things out. But most importantly, we are keeping an eye on those of you who are involved in our channel, in our community, who are supportive of our videos. By that I mean, every winner of Makeover Mondays to date, one thing they've had in common is every single one of them have been master comment leavers. All right, thanks guys. It's enough for my little soapbox this week, but I just wanted to share that with you because it's so important, and you being a part of what makes us successful. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Watch this video where Grayson will show you how to measure your room, send us your photos, and get your information to us as soon as possible, because it could be you.